Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we will be going through my journal from January 2024 until the end of 2024, which is December. And yeah, we will go through a lot of things in this video because my journal is very thick. It got really thick towards the end. Yeah, I'm just gonna show you what I did in 2024 and let's get into it. So these are my two journals for 2024 and they're quite thick, so let's just get into it. And before we start, let's light this candle just for some ambiance, since it's always nice to have a little candle on the side. So let's get into it. Let's get started. This is my cover page for 2024. I had so many stickers that I would like to use at that time, so I decided to just stick it all here, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. And this is also one of my first times really ever journaling, so that's that. And I also made this in the beginning of the year, which I really liked. I started off with this is also one of the first times that I did a bookshelf page ever. I feel like I improved a lot in doing bookshelves spread, I guess, in journals. I'm glad that the 2025 one, and there's another one as well in the middle, that it turned out much better. So next we are looking at the To Be Read list, and this is my book series of 2024. And I thought while doing this, maybe we can, if there are things that needs to be, I don't know, cross off, I will also do it now. So like here, over here, I think, I definitely read Kingdom of Ash. That's my last book in 2024 that I read. I also read The Great Undoing. I didn't read that, not that. Okay, so honestly, compared to the beginning of 2024, I definitely read quite a bit from this list, and I'm kind of proud of myself. And here, for example, I finished the Throne of Glass series and Magnolia Park's No, Kingston No, and honestly I think that's it, which is kind of sad. But then again, I've been crossing this off while reading it, so it's all good. I really enjoyed this book series tracker that I have over here. I know I did a different one for 2025, so we'll see which one I like more, and then 2026 I guess we can see which one my favorite is and which one I will continue doing. Moving on to the next page, I have 24 books in 2024. I am so glad that I finished the yearly TBR, even though I was cutting it quite close. But I think the same problem, I don't know if it's a problem, but the same thing that I don't like about my journal in 2024 is that I don't use consistent colors / the colors that look good together really. I just see what markers I have on hand and just color it in. So that's why they all look not how I imagined it making this spread, but it's all right. I'm really glad that I finished this 24 books. It was really difficult because in the beginning of 2024, I haven't even started, for example, the Throne of Glass series or the Shatter Me series or the Folk of the Air series, and then or the Naturals or Magnolia Park series or the Good Girls Get to Murder series, pretty much, or even the Part of Your World standalone. So this, in order to get here, I had to read so many books, and I am glad that I really made it in the end. So, and these are on the left is my monthly favorites, and on the right it's my top 16 books of the year. And yeah, for my monthly favorites, I just put the book cover over here, and it's really difficult sometimes to choose one favorite book of the month, and some months I just don't have any favorites, but from the non-favorites I have to choose one favorite, which is, I feel like sometimes it doesn't make sense to do this monthly favorites spread, but then at the end of the year I really enjoyed seeing it. I really can tell which month I didn't have like such a good reading month, or like good reading month but no 5 stars or no favorites at all. So yeah, and these are again my top 16 books of the year. And then we are going to my reading bingo that I did in the beginning of the year. I know with bingo, you're supposed to just do one thing, I guess. Oh, wait, let's color that in. Oh, I remember the problem here. So the problem here is that I colored in the wrong box. So technically this is not full bingo because I did not find a book that sets in a place that I've visited. I know this text is wrong, but this one is correct. Book sets in a place you visited. So I did not find anything. I found one, but didn't really want to read it. So, and the bingo one is not as important because I already had so many bingos anyway, but it is rather satisfying to see that I printed it out. I really love coloring it in and sticking the book covers as well, and we'll see if the reading bingo for 2025 I'll manage to do that. I will not prioritize it so much, but I will definitely see if I can do a bingo pretty much. So, and these are my reading goals of 2024. Then again, with this, I don't really like the color palette because it's just so sporadic and it doesn't really go with each other. I always just choose a marker that I have on my desk and just color it in. But yeah, in the beginning, I really wanted to just continue with this color blue one, but then I decided it would be too sad. And the only other marker I have on hand at the time was this brown one. So yeah, this is how it turns out. Obviously in 2025 I will pick colors that are more suited together. In 2025 I would want to be more mindful with the colors that I'm putting in the journal. So yeah, and let's go real quick to my reading goal of 2024. So complete 5 series. I definitely did. I've completed so many series in 2024. I read 2 classics. I think it was, I'm not sure what 2 classics I read, but I put The Hobbit as one of the classics because it is children's classic. So I thought, you know what, I will. And minimize physical TBR to 10 books. I definitely not. I read 161 books this year and I minimized it. I think the lowest it was actually 60 books, and then I went on a book buying spree, I guess, and then now we're back to 70-80 books. So that definitely did not happen. And read 1 nonfiction book a month was actually going really well until December. I didn't finish the nonfiction book in December because I was so busy doing so many. Yeah, I didn't manage in December because it was just so busy and I really didn't have the time. I really want to focus on definitely reading 1 nonfiction book a month. So yeah, that's the reading goals of 2024. Now moving on, we are moving to my book club / buddy read spread with my friend, and I did this book, I guess book cover / page, whatever it's called. I did it this way so that I, for example, for this one in January, it's Impossible Creatures, and on the left it would be my rating and review, and it would be my friend's rating and review. So we read honestly so many good books this year, and for example, we really love Belladonna, we really enjoyed The Starless Sea, we loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and The Naturals, and we loved The Housemaid as well. Powerful was meh, I think. Yes, Impossible Creature was also, but I think the one that we really did not like from this list is The Christmas Jigsaw Murders. I have not made her fill this one in because I haven't seen her since the end of the year / the beginning of 2025. So yeah. Moving on, I did my 2024 books. It's just like all the books that I read in 2024. I will stick it here. I don't know if I want to do this in 2025 because I feel like it's quite unnecessary. Either I have to just do this and not do my monthly book cover, I guess. But I think I will continue putting it on the monthly spread and not like this because I don't really need to see it all in one go like this. Even though it is quite satisfying, but I feel like it's so difficult to guess how many books I'll be reading in a year. So I decided that it'll be best to just keep the book covers in the monthly spread. And I think I have one more page of these books. Yes. And yeah, I think at this point it is 100 books, but I don't have any more space. It will continue throughout the spread, but I will just show you that later. And then to this spread, I think this spread is such a dud in a way, because it's so difficult to choose what book or which book fit to which category. So I don't know, I did this for 2025 as well, but I feel like I might just glue the page together so I don't have to deal with this book awards. I really hate making decisions when it comes to my books because I just love them all equally. So now I had an empty page, so I decided to just take the picture, the summary thing that I have for my year of reading. So yeah, here you can tell books. I have 161. I read 162 books, but whatever. 162 books I read for 97,531 minutes. My top genre is romance, fantasy, and young adult. And then my top author is Tahereh Mafi because I read the whole entirety of the Shatter Me series in 2024. So that's why top author. And my aura is story sorcerer, whatever that means. But yeah, I definitely suggest if you love reading and you love stats, just go to myyearinbooks.com and then you'll see the summary of your reading year, and it is somehow very satisfying. So yeah. Moving on to January title page, I'm in the mood for scrapbooking and just sticking stickers and pages and whatever I have on the page, so I did that. And honestly, looking back, I think my style is so different compared to now, which is really interesting to see and have it documented in my journals. So yeah, let's go. So this is how it started. I always have my monthly books on the left and my favorite book on the right. So monthly books is just pretty much my TBR. Here it says TBR jar. I had a jar at one point to help me read more. And the prompts are any fantasy, any romance, and less than 300 pages. So I picked 3 of these books, and then I have a book club book pick, I guess, / the buddy read, and I have the nonfiction. And this is favorite book of the month, which is Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. I didn't read that much in January because I was writing my thesis and I was really concentrating on that. I think I finished reading all these 5, but I think those are the only books I read in January. All 5 books that I see here, I really did not have any favorite, but amongst the 5 books, the Assassin's Blade definitely won. So that's why I put it in as my favorite book of the month. Moving on to the next page, I skipped the title page for February because February is my last month of uni and I was really focusing on just finishing my thesis well. I think I actually read all 5 of these books, which is quite impressive. So considering that I had a whole thesis going on, I read 5 books. That was kind of impressive. And then this is March. I had so many more in my TBR jar because I finished uni and I had 1 month break before work starts. I was like, okay, one last month of freedom. I decided to just read a lot, and I'm not sure if I read everything here. This is why I think I started to change the setup a little bit, because yes, I get to know what I want to read or what books are in my TBR, but I don't really know what I read and not. So, and then since I loved Good Girls Guide to Murder so much in February, I decided to take some inspiration from Katie's reading and I made a murder board. I think she also did it, and I saw it and I was like, I had to do it. I'm sorry, by the way, with the light change. Maybe 1 second, let me turn on the light. So I hope the light will be more consistent from now on. I know I lost a G somewhere, so it's just a Oud Girls Guide to Murder. Anyway, but yeah, I'm really proud this took so long to make. And I think it's one of the reasons why my journal is really thick. So these are March, and I decided to put in books read spread. So I read, I think, 11 books, and I did this like where you see the cover really big and then you can flip it open and then the date, the rating, and then what I think of it. And then I quickly realized that it is quite a lot to rate, and not rate necessarily, but to review every single book that I read. I decided not to do it in in the coming months. So, and then here I was just journaling about the reading month and how it went. And also I put this sticker because it was so cute and I wrote it here. This is me because reading month was so good. And then I read A Little Life and I truly adored the book and truly enjoyed their friendships and the characters and everything. So I decided to do this full spread journal kind of thing. And yeah, I really enjoyed putting this together, but I think towards the end it just got a little bit too much. So I didn't do it anymore. Moving on, at that time I think I finished the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. So I decided to make a spread for it as well. And I honestly still find this pretty adorable and pretty cute and pretty quite accurate to how I picture the series. Also, since they have 3 different maps, I printed it all out because I really loved them. It's quite crazy, I want to say. Crazy behavior on my part, but yeah. I think I'm much more of a relaxed journaler now. Moving on, I made my first spring TBR and I still haven't read this book. Oh gosh, maybe I should get into it quite soon because I know it's quite wintry. But anyway, these are my 8 books in my spring TBR. And then moving on to April. Since I didn't do a title for February and March, I decided, okay, you know what, from now on I'm gonna do it again. So that's why I decided on doing April. I think I saw this on Pinterest or something and then I decided to recreate it, which I really liked how it turned out. So like before, I think I'm gonna try to cross off things that I've read, but I think, oh, here, I read this and that's it. I read one, but it's all good because I finished the other physical TBR list already, so I was not too bummed that I didn't read. But I think looking back, I think I definitely read half of this, which is quite an accomplishment anyway. So yeah, let's move on. Again, I have the monthly books and then the favorite book of the month. And then I have books read. And in April, I read quite a bit. I read 1, 2, 3. I read, how many are these? I read 19 books in April, which is quite insane. I really love this Dutch door thing as well. I don't think I did any more Dutch doors in this spread, but we shall see because I always forget what I have and what I don't have in my journal. That's April. And then in April I started doing just random challenges with myself because I want to read more because I love reading so much. So I read 200 pages a day for a week and I have my TBR over here and these are the result of the challenge. It was really good until the last 4 days, which is quite sad, but I finished 4 books, which is quite insane, honestly. But yeah, moving on, I saw people doing their predictions spread, so I thought I might do one for myself as well. So I think, honestly, from all this, I haven't read 2, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these are definitely 5 stars. Wild Love is not 5 stars. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, no. And Dance of Thieves, also no. I want to see whether this 2 will be a 5 star. So we shall see. And then I did a 24-hour readathon and I read 5 books in that readathon. It is quite insane. I think I'm in the middle of All In and Shatter Me. So technically I'm already a book in. But I still find it quite crazy that I finished 5 books in this readathon. So moving on, I also saw Katie's reading doing this, so I decided to, like, you know what, I want to do it for myself as well. And at that time I had just read The House in the Cerulean Sea and Fishes by V.E. Schwab. So I decided, oh, the aesthetic that they have in the books were insane for both books. So I decided to do this, and honestly I really enjoyed how it looked in the end. And it prompted me to do more of this, which you will see very soon. So, and then I had read The Starless Sea, so I did this little spread over here. It just feels so incomplete because I always put stars everywhere, but it is called The Starless Sea, so I don't think it would make sense for me to put stars everywhere. I really wish I could put some stars over here, but alas. So this is the journaling for April. Now moving on to May. We have this little mini black cat, which I really love. Honestly, it looks so cute. So May, I started to change the TBR page because before, let me look back. In April, I did it like this. I mean, it is quite the same, but I don't know. I feel like it's just not spaced out quite well, and the title, I didn't like it, and I decided to do it properly this time, and I enjoyed it. And also all these cat stickers, I really enjoyed. And my favorite book of the month in May is Yours Truly, and honestly, I love that book. I really would like to reread it sometime soon. Maybe actually I should reread it like now. Maybe, we shall see for this. But yeah, moving on, we have books read in May. I read 18 books in May, which is, I don't know what's up with me this year, but I read so much. Why I read so much in May is due to the next page, which is swapping screen time with reading time challenge that I did. And I read same genre for a week. And okay, for the swapping one, I read 5 books. It was quite insane. I read Yours Truly and Babel, which made it into my top books of the year, which is quite insane. And this one, reading same genre for a week, I read Mystery, and it is a series, which is, I think, One of Us series by Karen M. McManus. So yeah, I have 2 more books that I would like to finish, but I didn't have the time in the end. So summer, I made this summer TBR again, and I had this food stickers that I got, and I just put it here, and I really enjoyed it. And honestly, from this, I've read everything but Binding 13. But Binding 13 is in my January TBR, so I hope to read this very soon. And then I have Folk of the Air spread, where I just read this, I think, in one go. Or like, not one go, but there's no books in between, so I just decided to make a little mini spread of it. And I wrote what I feel towards each book over here, and there is that Juden Carden fan art that I really love, so I just put it here. And then Babel, I did a little mini spread because I thought double page spread is quite too much. I decided to just do 1 page, and I really enjoyed how it turned out. And then for Yours Truly, I did this, which is like a 9-picture collage, I guess. And since in June, I went to Indonesia, I put a TBR to read whilst I'm in Indonesia / on the plane whenever I can read. But I think I ended up not reading any of these in Indonesia, so I guess that's that. Now this is a continuation of what I read that month, and this is just the journaling again. Then I have June, my monthly TBR on the left again, and my favorite book of the month on the right. And then again, my books that I read that month. And so I did this. I think I also saw it in Katie's reading. I've been watching a lot of her videos, and that's why I took a lot of inspiration from there as well. So, and then I went on a work trip, and I read 4 books in that work trip. A little picture of me just hanging out. And there's books read. These are all the books I read in Indonesia. I read 6 books over the span of 3 weeks, and I think considering traveling in itself is already pretty stressful, the fact that I read 6 books is kind of really good, honestly. But yeah, and then these are the spread that I just took from Pinterest and just stick it here because I wanted to commemorate Carrie Soto is Back and the Cruel Prince series, or the Folk of the Air series, because I really enjoyed both of them. And yeah, so this is it. And then I have my book spot spread. This is from January and June. I know, don't judge me, I have problems with book buying, and it definitely shows here. So this is not just this, and this is Dutch Doors. Oh, I guess I did more Dutch Doors this year. But yeah, so many books I bought. Most of them are secondhand, granted, but still, no one needs this many books. So yeah. And here, since I am one of like perfect amount of books, I guess, I just print this out from Pinterest, which is a cat reading a book, and the book title is How to Buy New Books and Pretend Like It Was an Accident. So I think it's quite fitting, so I just stick the little cat in there, and it is quite funny. So since I love Out on a Limb so much, I decided to journal about it a little bit and a little fan art, I guess. Yeah, I think honestly this cover is way too big for this page, but I really enjoyed the cover, so that's why I printed it quite big. Meanwhile, for Reckless, I didn't enjoy Reckless as much, / I'm really disappointed because I really love Powerless, and Reckless was such a meh book for me. And by the way, don't read the journaling texts at all because there might be spoiler, and if you haven't read it, definitely do not read because spoiler alert for sure. Moving on to a little bit of journaling for the month, and then we are moving on to July. And in July, these are my TBR spread and my favorite book of the month. I think July I also read a lot of books, but somehow I didn't find many favorites. But Elsewhere was definitely really good, and I bought the book in Indonesia, so it was really fun to just look at the book and remember that I bought it over there. So yeah, these are books finished spread. Moving on to another challenge, which is Spinner Wheel Picks how many hours I read each day for a week. So honestly, Spinner Wheel was pretty good in the beginning of the week because I got 2 hours and 1 hour, and then I got double 5 hours, and then at the end I got 6 hours. I think, yeah, the last 2 days, which is the weekend, I was just so busy doing, I don't know, weekend things, I guess, and that's why I didn't manage to complete it. But I did 50% of each, so I think that's quite good. And on Pinterest, I've been seeing all these book covers that are indie, I think, indie book covers, or it's fan art, and I honestly adore it. I decided to print them out and stick them here, and I really enjoy looking at them. I just put indie book covers appreciation. So yeah, that's that. And now we are in mid-year check-in. I originally wanted to do a little bit of journaling over here, but I just forgot, I guess. Either I forgot or I didn't have the motivation to do it. But yeah, let's go to my mid-year check-in. I did this as well. It's just a tracker, I guess, for when you read certain books, and I kept it going until October, and then October got really busy, and then I just didn't continue it at all. That's why I think in 2025 I definitely won't be doing this because it's so difficult to catch up with this. But yeah, I really enjoyed seeing it, like how I'm always reading all the time, and there are very little days where I just don't read. I almost always read every day, which is quite impressive. But yeah, that's that. And then I had my mid-year statistics, which I just put in from January to June, and I have books read, total pages, genre, average star rating, and favorites. And this is mid-year check-in journal, which I really enjoy seeing, and I hope like in the future I can always go back and see what I'm thinking specifically in mid-year 2024. And yeah, that's kind of interesting, I guess. Moving on, I have July to December new releases, I guess anticipated new releases. These are the covers, and I think from here I read 1, 2, 3, 4. I read 4 from this list, which is kind of interesting, and I have no plans whatsoever to continue reading any of this in the near future because I have so many books I would rather read before all this. So yeah. Now I have Bookspot from July to December. It's only 1 page, no Dutch door, but I know I have so many more books that I bought and I didn't list it here. I think I definitely have like around 10 or 20 books that I bought after this but did not list over here, so yikes. But yeah, 2025 definitely I want to buy less books, probably 50 books max. I will make a spread, I think I already made the spread, and I cannot go over that, which I think that's a pretty good goal to have. But yeah, moving on. We are moving on to Pinterest boards for my favorite books of each month. So I did it, for example, here for The Assassin's Blade, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I Have a Little Life, Bad Blood by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Yours Truly, Out on a Limb, and then I have Elsewhere, I have Play Along, I have Two Twisted Crowns, and Empire Storms. And then I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue and The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. And yeah, that's that. And I saw someone did this, which is 24 years of 5 stars. So for each year that I'm alive, I want to see if I have 5 stars for each year. But I realize I don't really. And all this like scribble that I have is only a maybe. So I'm not sure when I will ever finish this, but if I ever finish this, I will definitely show you and let you guys know. So yeah. And then I have my mini little bookshelf for mid-year towards the end. And I really like the color palette over here. Some of the colors I definitely would like to change, but I definitely enjoy this color palette. And these are the continuation of my reading goals boxes because I had run out from my initial one. And now moving on to August. So again, same monthly TBR, favorite book of the month. And then we have the books read, text, I guess, and these are the book covers. And then I had finished the Shatter Me series at this point, and I decided to do a little bit of journaling. And yeah, I printed out all the covers and I just journal about it really. And yeah. And then I did the same challenge again, which is reading 200 pages a day challenge for a week. And I finished 5 books, which is kind of crazy. And I think I completed everything but on day 6. And I read almost 2,000 pages in that week, which is quite impressive. And then I have my fall TBR, since fall is one of my favorite seasons / my favorite season. I really love reading during fall, so I put a lot of books in my TBR. Like previously I only put 8 books, and in this TBR I put 16 books, and I think I read most of this except 1, 2, 3, which is The Book Thief, Ruination, and Iron Flame. I'm kind of proud. Oh no, The Final Empire I didn't read either. So I guess I read 12 books from this list, which honestly I would consider it a success for sure. And then since August is my birthday month, I decided to do a birthday readathon, which is reading books that follows my initials, I guess. So for N, I have Nightbane, and then I just put when did I read it and what star rating I gave it, I guess. And then just all along. It was really difficult to find books that begins with A, I guess, because I was trying to avoid ignoring the from the beginning of the title. So yeah, but I really enjoyed this readathon, even though it got me a little bit into a reading slump, which is kind of sad, but anyway. And also these are the books that I got for my birthday. Either I got it for myself or someone got it for me as a birthday gift. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Moving on to this reading journal, a life recap over here, and then I have the journaling bit over here, and I have September title page, and then I have my monthly TBR over here and favorite book of each month spread over here. And again, books read over here, and then I have my 12 nonfiction books over here, which I read everything. I DNF 1 book, I think. Yes, I DNF 1 book. I didn't manage to finish this one, which is quite sad. And then since I was reading Throne Glass series, I was getting towards that tandem read, which is Tower of Dawn and Empire Storms. I printed this out. I got it from Pinterest, which is just like a guide, I guess, for the tandem read. And I also listed it so I can just cross it and remember where I am at. And it took me quite a while. I think it took me almost 2 weeks to finish this. I definitely felt so accomplished towards the end because reading the 2 thick books were definitely no joke. No easy task. But yeah, moving on. I did another spinner wheel challenge, and yeah, and this time I read 5 books, but honestly, the Heartstopper yearbook was like a 30-minute read, so I didn't really consider it as a book, but it's a book nonetheless. And then I have my physical TBR list because I was running out from the other spread, so I just put it here. But I haven't continued writing more over here, but maybe I'll just continue doing it in 2025 and I won't go back and fill this one. So moving on, we have October. This is also life recap slash a little bit of journaling because I was not in the mood for journaling, I guess, that month. So I just put a little bit of pictures everywhere, and this is my October title page. I really love this, but I also steal this idea from Pinterest and I really enjoyed it because it's so honestly really adorable. So in October, I have my, again, monthly TBR, but since spooky reading is also one of my favorites, like witchy books, atmospheric books, I decided to do a bingo for the season. And I read quite a bit of books and I managed to complete quite a bit of the thing again. I did 3 bingos, which is quite fun. And then I have my favorite book of the month. I printed this out pretty badly. Empire of Stones was definitely one of my favorite books in the Throne of Glass series. So yeah. And then I have Fall to Be Watched. I don't think I watch any of these, honestly, guys. Oh no, I watched Twilight. I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas. I watch Over the Garden Wall. So I guess like what, a fourth? A quarter of this? I would still consider it a success because I don't really watch that many movies. So I think watching 4 movies is pretty good. Moving on to, this is my October reads page. And this is my list of books that I read in October. Moving on, I went to the book fair here in Germany and I just journal about it because I really enjoyed the experience. And this is again all the books I read in 2024 page that I had in the beginning, but I ran out, so I decided to make just single pages. So yeah. And then yeah, this is just a random thing that I have, and this is me journaling about October and how good it was as a reading month. But yeah, these are my TBR, but I always have that towards the end. And yeah, that is the first part of 2024. And moving on to my second journal, which is over here. In this journal, I have November and December. So let's just get into it. I know I've been talking for so long. I just decorate a little bit at the front, just a little bit stickers here and there because I love stickers. So yeah. This awkward first page I always leave behind because it's just a little bit awkward. I don't know what to put there. So this is again the books that I read in 2024, but I ran out, kind of spread. Then I have my winter TBR, which I have 12 books, and I think I only read 1, 2, 3. I read 3 books off of this list, which is so sad. But it's alright, I think. Winter is not over yet, but I already have another winter TBR that I just set like a week ago. So I think I'll follow that TBR rather than this TBR. And then here I have my books read / tracker. I will actually fill this one out with you guys right now. So let's do that. Having a good time, having a good time. Boom. I read 12 books in November, so until here, I think. Yeah, until here. So we'll just, now we'll put 12 up top. Over here, 12. In December, I read 10 books, which would be here. So let's color this in. gosh, I'm making a mess, guys. I need to fix that. I ran out of Tipp-Ex, so I will fix that whenever I have my Tipp-Ex again. Yeah, anyway, just ignore that and it will all be fine. So now continuing to November, I have my monthly. Oh, I don't have my monthly. Oh no, this is my monthly, I think. This is my monthly TBR and this is my favorite book spread. And we have the books that I read in November. And then I have a Kindle haul. So I think it was Stuff Your Kindle Day or something, and I decided to stuff a lot of it. I got 20 books, which is quite insane, and I really am excited to start reading some of them. And oh, I think I read The Situationship because it was just like 40 pages long. So yeah, that's that. And this is trying to complete as much of my yearly TBR in a week. So I finished The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue, The Secret History, and The Long Way Home, Magnolia Parks. In this week, yeah, From Blood and Ash and Kingdom of Ash, I finished it towards the end of the year. And I had wanted to do Vampathon this year, but it just got too busy and I had read so many books at that point, so I decided to just leave it before I get a book slump, which is never fun. So yeah, and then I did how many books can I read in 24 hours. So this is not in 24 hours I read all this, but I did like a timer kind of thing, and every time I stop reading I stop the timer. So it took me a week to fully finish this challenge, which was kind of impressive that I finished this really quickly, but I definitely would love to do this challenge again. And then I have the Shadowhunter Chronicles book order. I saw in Cassandra Clare's website that she had a reading order post, I guess, so I decided to just write it down so I remember and so I know that I can always look back on this. And yeah, so I finished reading Clockwork Angel, so I can mark that as well. I'm pretty much well into the series. I'm excited to finish the rest though. Moving on, this is my last page of all the books I read in 2024, which is kind of sad that I still have so many empty spots, but alas. This is my December title page. I have my December TBR page. I have my favorite book of the month spread, and then my December read spread, and also the books that I read in December over here. And then I did a reading Christmassy books in 1 week spread, and I read 4 books. And it was really nice, and it definitely helped me in feeling more festive in the season, because it was really difficult to get into the festive season when I just have so many things going on. But yeah, moving on, I have DNF Graveyard. So I'm gonna now write down all the DNFs that I have for this year. So let's do it together. But before that, I think I'm gonna remove the pencil marks a little bit, and I will continue it after. So yeah, I actually only have 2 books, so that was pretty good. And I still don't know what I want to do here. I think I want to journal for December. I will do that in my own time, I think. And then here I have Reading Log 2024. I really like this spread because you can tell how much I read here. This is a flip page, which looking at it all together, it is quite insane, but I really enjoyed looking at it. That's it pretty much. Now we are on to 2025. That's pretty much my reading journal for 2024, and I really am looking forward to 2025, how my journaling style will change and what I will journal. And yeah, it's really nice just being able to look back into your past year and see what you've been doing, what you've been up to. So yeah, now to me in the outro. So that was it. that was my reading journal from 2024. I am excited in what I will be doing in my reading journal in 2025. And yeah, that video probably took way too long to film. I filmed this outro right after the intro, so I don't know how long it will take me to film and ramble through all the spread, but I really hope that you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.